Kouri Richins appealed to reconsider bail and release from custody. This was written on October the 23rd. The Utah mother accused of poisoning and killing her husband with fentanyl before writing a children's book about grief is renewing her request to be released on bail as her trial moves forward. Kouri Richins, 34 years old, has been in state custody since May of 2023 when she was charged with the murder of her husband, Eric Richins. In the 17 months since, her attorneys say that Richins has been a model inmate and the wait for her trial has gone on for too long. I'm going to share this screen with you guys. What I'm reading, because there's some pictures here I wanted to show you. This all comes from abc4.com. The judge originally denied Richins bail after a lengthy detention hearing in June of 2023. At the time, they determined that since Richins was potentially facing the death penalty for her alleged crimes and that evidence presented by the state of Utah could potentially persuade a guilty verdict from a jury, Richins should be held pending her trial. When the judge, I want to say it's Mazik, that's probably how you say it, made his decision, and she would face trial within the next few months. However, several delays, including a change in attorneys for Richins, pushed the trial back to May of 2025. The state also declared it would not be seeking the death penalty as a punishment if convicted. At the time of the original detention hearing in June of 2023, it was believed that the preliminary hearing and trial were imminent. Based on the newly scheduled trial date, if Ms. Richins is not released, she will have served 2 years in jail at the time of her trial, all while presumed to be innocent. This is what her attorneys wrote to them. So these below are her certificates of good behavior, I guess, for successful completion of a 6-month course in American history and the Constitution of the Summit County Correctional Facility. She got a certificate for raising relational kids in a screen-driven world. Thank you, Rebecca. Gracious. I'll open these other ones I've met. You guys, just because she does this doesn't mean anything. So she's smart? What? Okay, she's smart. We should let her out. You're right. Come on. Richins' lawyer further argued that the client has been a model inmate displaying no indications of violence or danger whatsoever to support their claim. Her lawyers provided several certificates awarded to Richins for completion of jail-run programs. Her lawyer also provided an acceptance letter into the California Coast University Online Masters of Business Administration program. The program's director had sent an email to Judge Mazik detailing Richins as a resolute in her work, very positive in her interactions, and appreciative of support lent to her learning. In the appeal, Richins' lawyer said that their client has a plan to live with her brother and sister-in-law in Salt Lake County. If released, the attorneys argue it will remove any risk of inadvertent interactions with possible witnesses in the case and allow her to have supervised visits with her sons, who they say have become estranged. She will be able to continue to work on higher education degree and will be highly motivated to comply with all conditions set by the court so that she can conduct supervised visitation with her sons. Mrs. Richins' family is prepared to provide essentials such as food, clothing, and educational resources, and they are committed to making sure that she appears at all court proceedings as required. According to court documents, the judge will consider the motion to grant the bail as well as any arguments from the state prosecutor against the motion Monday, October the 28th, which was today. And then they've scheduled another hearing for any additional motions on November the 12th. Well, today's hearing was not aired, which surprised me because I figured it would be. For attending and participating in the following 5 classes: herbaceous plants, weed control. Oh my God, it's landscaping. Come on, guys. Really? This isn't worthy of our time. This is for Intro to Arts. Good for her. Good for her. So she's sitting in prison bored, and we're supposed to be happy that she's doing all this faith-based parenting. She needs to do a lot more faith-based items, in my opinion. And this one was raising relational kids in a screen-driven world. If you have not seen the video I put up this morning, please go back and check it, because if you're like me, you're just coming into this case, you're trying to figure out what's going on, and you want to follow it. I did like a starter, like here's a catch me up, and we'll do some more digging. If I have enough people interested, if enough people aren't interested in this case, there's no sense in us moving forward with it. So right now we've got almost 1,000 views. So it might make it. It might make it over the hump. We'll see. All right, so that's that on that piece. And then I had some news clips that I put together for Kouri Richins, so that for those of you that are new to the case like I am and trying to get caught up and figure things out, this might help you a little bit.
And children's author accused of killing her husband, once out of jail now. And if released on bail, Kouri Richins would wear an ankle monitor and would not be allowed to contact witnesses, among other things.
So her lawyers say part of what kept her in jail originally was the possibility that the state would seek the death penalty, something the state has since said it doesn't plan to do. They also say Richins has been a model inmate, displaying no signs of violence, as well as completing several certificate classes in jail. On top of this, her team argues her 17-month stay in jail has hurt her.
So see the blondes right there? That's her new attorneys. The gorgeous, the attorney she had before that, oh my gosh, she was absolutely gorgeous. They had to come off the case.
Relationship with her kids. A local defense attorney tells us this is a good, low-risk move from her lawyers at this point in the case.
It couldn't hurt her because all the judge could do is leave her in jail. It wouldn't. So if she is freed, her situation would be improved, but it wouldn't make her situation worse because she would just remain in jail.
The state removed the possibility of the death penalty for Richins again. Her team filed a handful of motions to expand the jury pool to Salt Lake County and handle it all in person. A ruling hasn't come down on those yet. Today's session focused on a lawsuit against her sister-in-law, Kouri Richins Benson. Now, Benson is suing Kouri for more than $13 million over the husband, Eric's estate. And the judge in the case is putting a hard divide between the two former relatives.
I'm inclined to adopt Mr. Yossi's suggestion that any meet and confer required under Rule 37, which is the Statement of Discovery Issues rule, occur in writing so that you are not in the position of speaking to lawyers that represent your adversary.
I like that, Judge. But you know what's going to happen if they let her out? There's going to be a whole bunch of sparks flying between her and the sisters, because it's already gotten heated. He signed over his entire estate to the sisters, or to one of the sisters, to handle, and it follows the kids. Wherever the kids go, his estate goes, which makes complete sense. But at first, I was like, wait a minute. She had all this money supposedly, and then she had to go file. She claimed indigency. I don't know if they put what money she did have on hold, or because his estate is no longer there. It was his estate paying for her lawyer's fees. That, to me, I was kind of trying to figure out. If you guys have been following this from the beginning and you're aware of it, yeah, she attacked the sister. Are you telling me, or are you asking, JPC? She attacked the sister because the sister was trying to get into the safe to get the paperwork where all his files were or something. And I guess there was cash in there too. So yeah, I kind of wondered about that. And if y'all know anything about it, let me know.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I'm fine with that.
Cam's mother, accused of killing her husband and then writing a children's book about grief, is back in court today.
Kouri Richins' lawyers want the prosecution to be disqualified. Our Jonathan May is live outside the courtroom for us in Park City. Jonathan, why did the defendants make this motion today?
Well, that's right. Brian, Sarah, they argue Chief Prosecutor Brad Blworth or either the Summit County Attorney's Office as a whole should be off the case, saying they violated the Sixth Amendment, which protects the rights of the accused.
The conspiracy alleged that jail personnel are intruding into the attorney-client relationship and sharing information with the prosecution is speculative at best and bad faith at worst.
I can understand why your office is really pissed about the content of that motion, but that is not enough to form a Sixth Amendment violation.
This afternoon, a back and forth in the courtroom while Richins listened. The defense arguing prosecutors violated the Sixth Amendment by accessing recorded phone calls between Richins and her defense team.
The issue that concerns us the most is any finding that there would be a waiver of any privilege knowingly.
The defendant wanted to make a motion to either disqualify Bloodsworth or
disqualifying the Summit County Attorney's Office as the prosecution in this matter as a whole.
It is wrong for a lawyer prosecutor to intentionally throw a wrench into the gears of the system of justice.
The evidence showed Mr. Bloodworth didn't listen to him.
I like that judge. He's cute too. You know what? She did sell that house though. That mansion was sold. She lost like $1 million on it though, I think.
And that jail staff did not read the substance of that notebook. That's it.
With that, the judge denied the motion. The court found no evidence there was a violation of Sixth Amendment rights.
Disqualification of Mr. Bloodworth or any other attorney in the Summit County Attorney's Office is not necessary to maintain the fairness of these adversary proceedings.
Behind me stands that house that was closed on, according to court documents, the night Eric died. Kouri says she told police that they were celebrating the closure of a home that she had purchased for her business. She was wanting to flip the house. She says she made Eric a drink, went to go put the kids in bed, and when she came back, she says that's when she found Eric. We know that Eric died of a fentanyl overdose. It's here at this house in Midway where those illicit drug transactions took place between Kouri and her dealer. The dealer telling police she left the pills at the Midway house. The house is nearly 20,000 square foot mansion. It boasts 8 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, and a half bath, and a 3,000 square foot guest house, all on an 8-acre lot.
3 days after her attorney, Sky Lazaro, withdrew representing her in her murder case, a new law firm has been appointed. And this comes just a short time after recordings of Richins in jail were released. Now, ABC4's Annika Johns joins us with the very latest in this trial.
To be able to speak out for the first time is terrifying, but is much needed. The world has yet to hear who I really am, what I've really done, or what I really didn't do.
From behind bars, the Utah woman accused of poisoning her husband is breaking her silence for the first time. In audio released to ABC4's affiliate, ABC News, Kouri Richins shares words of her innocence and is asking for the world to give her a chance.
Give me a chance to prove it to you. Let me show you the facts. Let me show you the evidence. I will not give up. I will not give in. Please, just give me a chance.
The audio was released just days after her attorney Sky Lazaro filed a motion to withdraw from representing her.
Okay, this is 231-500-139, State of Utah versus Kouri Richins.
Today in court, a brief hearing was held where Richins' former attorney was officially relieved of her duty.
Ms. Lazaro, your motion to withdraw is granted. You are being removed.
Okay, so Simmer Down, Texas is asking how they tied Kouri to the drugs. So apparently there was a lady that she hired to do housekeeping services for her because, you know, she would buy houses. She was a realtor. She would buy houses and flip them as well. So her having someone that did a lot of house cleaning made sense, right? So this lady apparently was involved with the mansion, and that's where she bought the drugs from that woman. And I think that woman already had some charges against her. So they kind of held it up against that lady, and she kind of had to spill the beans on Kouri Richins. It seems like they kind of bullied her into talking, or else they were going to press more charges against her. I don't know if that's how they got it out of her, but somehow they got it out of her. Okay. There have been so much already that I would think so, Carrie. Yeah, I think this is just more to come on this case. It's craziness. But anyway, that's how they figured out, because she had like 13. How many did I say? 13 to 50 pills at one point. And then she told her, hang on, I'll tell you exactly how many they were, because I got my notes right here. 15 to 30 fentanyl pills. And then when she went back, that was in February of 2022. And then when she went back before his death, she told the girl that I need something stronger. So they think she tried on Valentine's Day to unalive him, and it didn't work.
Moved as counsel from this case.
And now Wendy Lewis, Catherine Nestor, and the team at Nestor Lewis PLLC are the newly appointed faces tasked with representing Kouri Richins.
We have a newly appointed indigent defense counsel, Ms. Lewis.
According to the law firm's website, Lewis and Nestor started practicing law together in 2022. And now moving forward with this case, the two of them have been given time by the judge to get familiar with the case. He canceled and rescheduled the preliminary hearing originally set for June 18th.
We are staying any briefing deadlines related to the motion to disqualify or the motion to suppress.
The motions the judge is referring to are first the motion to disqualify state prosecutors from the case. The second is a motion to suppress the 6-page walk the dog letter the Summit County Sheriff's Office located in Rich jail cell late last year.
What I've really done is protect Eric at all costs. What I really didn't do is murder my husband. I could not and would not ever do that to Eric or anyone for that matter.
The Utah judge allowing prosecutors to access only a few pages of a letter from her jail cell. Richins was accused last year of poisoning her husband and then writing a children's book on grief. Last September, prosecutors accused her of smuggling potential evidence out of her Summit County jail cell in an envelope marked attorney-client privilege. The judge partly ruled in the defense's favor, saying Kouri's writings is privileged and the defense won't have to hand it over, but prosecutors will be able to access a letter they claim another inmate wrote to Kouri.
This morning, the family of Kouri Richins, accused of fatally poisoning her husband, Eric Richins, and then writing a children's book about grief.
I just wanted some story to read to my kids. I couldn't find anything that really, suited them or helped them find comfort and peace.
Speaking publicly for the first time.
We know Kouri's innocent, and all that's going to come out in court. And I think that's going to shock people.
Days ago, while searching her cell, guards opening this letter in which prosecutors allege Kouri attempted to coach family and friends into giving false testimony on the stand. But Kouri's attorney says the letter was marked attorney-client privilege and should never have been opened in the first place. Her brother DJ accusing the jail of misadministering her medication to get her out of the cell.
And you say that they have messed up her medication 6 times?
6 times. 1 time is an accident. 2 times is incompetence. 6 times looks like it's on purpose. When I got the news that Eric had died, I broke down into tears. He was a good guy. I mean, he lived life to the extreme and, eventually got him. But it's my sister. I knew Eric. She didn't do this.
In the hours we spent with DJ this week, he painted a very different picture of his sister.
Her and the boys would go to church every Sunday.
What is she like as a mom?
She's a great mom. Those are the busiest boys you'll ever meet, whether it be soccer, baseball. There's always something.
So she's juggling flipping houses, which is a lot of work.
It's just a lot of work.
Kouri Richins' siblings say that just before Eric's death, the couple was doing well.
At the time he died, I thought they were probably in the best place they've ever been. Kouri told the police that he didn't use drugs to protect his image.
Eric's family disputes that.
He was a person who took very good care of his health, and so to try to cast the light on him that we've seen recently is really troubling. It's really it's sad.
Kouri Richins in court today concerning a plea in advance for a misdemeanor assault charge. That hearing, as you can see right there, virtual, about paying a fee and taking a thinking errors or grief course relating to the assault charge last summer. Now, her attorney says Richins was in grief counseling at the time, but she has no report or documentation on that treatment.
This was all due before the defendant was put into custody.
They weren't due until January 4th of this year. The monies weren't.
Okay, Your Honor, for the monies, that's correct.
Okay, so what we're talking about here is the class.
And if the state wants to object to a continuance, can we just set an evidentiary hearing on that? She is entitled to that.
That was going to be my point, Ms. Lozaro, that we're going to set the evidentiary hearing. But part of it is I also want to make sure we're talking about setting the evidentiary hearing on that second allegation, because that.
Okay, so as for the counseling allegation that Richins did not attend the class or counseling in that time frame she was given at the time of the court.
Yeah, Judge Mrazek has ruled to grant the gag order, but only in certain circumstances. The gag order was motioned by the state in hopes of limiting those involved in the case from speaking to the press. The judge says lawyers, past, present, and future, are not allowed to make any extrajudicial statements. Lawyers will be required to inform any witnesses, investigators, or members of their team about the court's terms.
With respect to preserving the integrity of the process, that is ensuring that Ms. Richins, who is presumed innocent, receives a fair and impartial trial, and a timely one.
An unsealed search warrant obtained by ABC4 reveals new information about the early stages of the investigation. It sheds new light on how investigators went about researching Kouri's family and what they found. ABC4's Annika Johns joins us in studio today. She's been digging through some of these documents. Annika, tell us, what have you learned so far today?
Well, Sarah, so many of us, as we know, Richins is the Utah mom and children's author that is accused of murdering her husband. And now it's been revealed her mother was living with a female roommate in 2006 who unexpectedly died from an overdose of oxycodone. To be clear, Lisa Darden is not currently under investigation and has not been charged with anything. But these new filings do shed light on how investigators approached the Richins case.
I do not believe in my heart Kouri could ever not just kill Eric, but kill anything or anyone.
This is Lisa Darden, the mother of Kouri Richins. Richins is the Utah mother suspected of killing her husband Eric in 2022. And today, unsealed documents ABC4 obtained state detectives in the Richins case speculate Darden may have had a hand in her son-in-law's death.
I believe Eric may have gotten pain pills and didn't realize that they had fentanyl in them.
Documents state detectives from the Summit County Sheriff's Office began to investigate individuals close to both Kouri and Eric Richins in May of 2023. As part of that investigation, the past of Richins' mother was looked into. Court documents revealed Richins' mother was the subject of a search warrant after investigators learned that a romantic partner of hers died in 2006 from a drug overdose. Shortly before her partner's death, Darden was named as the beneficiary of her partner's estate.
Now, see, that could have just given Kouri an idea. It doesn't necessarily mean her mother was in on it. I mean, I'm just saying.
Partner reportedly died suddenly from an oxycodone overdose. Darden's partner was prescribed oxycodone at the time of her death and had a history of abusing her medication. But documents state at the time of her death, Darden's partner was not in a state of recovery from her addiction, which would likely overrule the possibility of an accidental overdose. The similarities between both cases, detectives say, raise red flags in their investigation, further speculating Darden possibly was involved in Eric's death.
If you knew Kouri, she would never, ever do this, not only to Eric, but to those boys.
But prosecution tends to disagree with Mama about that one. So, innocent until proven guilty, I guess. We'll see what happens there. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and feel free to leave a comment. Have a blessed day.